Question 4. Lori Campbell deposited $3,000 end of each quarter in an account 8%. How many years will it take to have $60,000 in her account? So she's making multiple deposits to reach $60,000, and it's compounded quarterly. So we need the annuity. It's 1 plus r to the t minus 1 over r. R is always rate over m. They tell you it's 8%. Quarterly, you divide by 4, so R is 0.2. T would be M times time. Quarterly, we don't know what time is, so I'm going to call it T, capital T. And that's what we don't know. That's what we're solving for. We know the target to get this amount in the future. I know the payment itself is $3,000. 1 plus interest to the T that we don't know, but I know now that I call it capital T over this. So to do this, I'm going to get rid of the numbers first. So I'm going to get rid of the 3,000 and this. So I'm going to divide by 3,000 multiplied by 0.2. I got rid of these two numbers, so now I have this plus this, which is 102 to the capital T minus 1. And 60,000 over 3,000 times 0.2 will give me 0.4. I'll bring the 1 over. It becomes 1.410 capital T. The only thing you can do now to solve for time is to log both sides. To log the 1.4 and to log the 1.02, and that brings the T down. So T, what you're solving for, would be log 1.4 over log 102. And that will tell you how many years you have to wait till you get to this. So you go log 1.4, log 1.02. About 1699, or roughly about 17 years. And you put the answer in a statement. Question 5. The production manager for Koi Soft Drink Company is considering the production 2 kinds of soft drinks, the regular and the diet. 2 of her limited resources are production time, 8 hours per day, and syrup, which is one of her ingredients, limited to 675 gallons per day. To produce a regular case requires 2 minutes and 5 gallons of syrup, while the diet needs 4 minutes and 3 gallons of syrup. Profit for a regular soft drink, $3 per case, and profit for the diet would be $2 per case. They would like to determine how many cases of each type. So we need to know how many cases of regular, the soft drink, and how many we need to do for the diet. So we go, let R be number of regular cases, and D would be number of diet cases. Anytime you do an LP model, because we're designing LP here, anytime you do an LP model, you either maximize or minimize. And since they tell you it's profit, and they say this in the line before, at pretty much the end of the question where you need to maximize profit, the profit is given. It's $3 for the regular, and for the diet, $2. So 3 for R and 2 for D. And then you get into the subject to the constraints of the system. What are the constraints or the different constraints for this system? Well, first of all, keep in mind there are 8 hours of work. So let's say production time. I'm gonna call this production time. Altogether, you have available 8 hours. They tell you regular needs 2 minutes and the diet needs 4 minutes. So 2 minutes to do a regular, 4 minutes to do a diet. Available is 8 hours, but you have to, since you have minutes, 8 hours would be 480 minutes. So this is 8 hours times 60. So 2 for regular, 4 for a diet, not to go over the 480 minutes available. There is also the SERB. They tell you you need 5 for a regular, and then they tell you you need 3 for a diet, not to go over what's available, and they tell you you have 675 available. You see that we captured all the different numbers. There is nothing else there. So, but you have to put this. All variables are greater than or equal 0. Or you just say R, comma, D greater than or equal 0. You have to do this at the end of any LP model. So this is the answer for number 5. There is also a last question, question number 6. Happy Valley Nursery raises 4 different kinds of Christmas trees. So we have 4 different kinds of Christmas tree seedlings, and sells them to a farmer for transplanting. The cost per square meter for planting varies among the tree types due to specific spacing differences. Okay. Each square meter planted for white pine, so that's the first one, costs $22. And profit is $10. Blue spruce and fair hemlock costs are $15, $18, $16, profit is $6, $12. They have a budget of $6,000 for planting and raising these seedlings. The total bidding frame is 400 square meter available, and 150 needs to be reserved for blue spruce and fair planting. Happy Valley would like to determine the square meter footage that should allocate for each tree in order to maximize profit. So we have 4 different variables here, 4 different seedings, and the way we're gonna call them, we can say let W be, and the number of square meter, the number of square meters allocated to plant the first one, which is, I think it was called white pine. Let me just make sure. White pine. So the first one is the area allocated to do the first one. The second one is blue spruce, so B will be amount allocated for blue spruce. And H, this one is for fir, and this one is for hemlock. You're maximizing profit, and they tell you that the profit is 10, 8, 6, 12. 10 for W, 8 for B, 6 for F, and 12 for each. Now subject 2. We have budget. They tell you that it costs 22 to do a W, 15 to do a B, it costs 18 to do an F, it costs 16 to do the last one, H, but not to exceed the budget they have. Their budget for planting is 6,000. The total bidding area is 400. So total area. So the area they allocate for W, B, F, and H, not to exceed 400, that's the total area that they have available. And they need to have 150 for B and F. So B and F area, at least 150. There is nothing else left. We captured all the different numbers. So you go W, comma B, comma F, and H, all of them greater than or equal 0. This is it for the entire assignment. My advice is see if you can make few changes. There are multiple people getting this assignment, so the changes you can do is when I do the labels for the other questions and this one, or the sentences, the statements, so the wording, so change the wordings. Here I call it total area, and you can call it the total area. Here, instead of B and F, you can say blue, spruce, and fir, so you do the complete name. Here I do the number of square meters to plant each one, not allocated. So change the wording a little bit, just to be in the safe side. And that would be the entire assignment. Good luck.